What's up, guys? Today we've been watching the Reddit stories because I feel like torturing myself to death. Yay!
Teacher who hated me because I always got 100 on her tests without studying. She constantly argued with me, even saying she can't wait to look me up in the county jail in a few years. I stopped submitting her homework after that, but continued. Police officers, has a call ever made you cry? I thought I'd seen everything until one day I got a call from a little kid in tears. Through his stuttering, I made out the words cerebral palsy and birthday party. No one came. Between every sentence, he apologized for bothering me, like he didn't think he was worth my time. So to prove him wrong, I waited until my shift was over and showed up at his front door with a birthday cake. I didn't know what to expect, but then his mom opened the door and rolled her eyes before saying, "You really wasting your time on this loser?" She then moved out of the way to reveal her son, a scrawny 10-year-old boy whose face was twitching. He ignored his mom and shouted, "You came! You really came!" His smile was so big, I thought his face might split. With permission,
Dang, that's sad.
I picked him up and lightly spun him around. He laughed so hard he almost dropped the cake. I made a big deal of lighting the candles and singing happy birthday at the top of my lungs. But his mom had other ideas, because while I was doing all this, she was on TikTok with the volume all the way up. I couldn't figure out whether it was on purpose or not. And next thing I knew, she blew the candles out before I was even finished singing, cut almost a quarter of the cake for herself, and retreated to her bedroom. I felt broken watching a mother do that to her son, but he was still grinning when he asked, "I can still do my birthday wish, yeah?" I nodded, and he closed his eyes so tight his face scrunched up, and he blew out the unlit candles. A month later, I introduced him to my son, and now they both have a new best friend. Police officers?
What's your they didn't realize I could understand their language story? I was at a small coffee shop.
No, I was kidding that.
People who got away with a crime. How did you do it? When I was 19, I was running late to work and drove through a stop sign as there was nobody around me. Well, a few seconds later, lights began to flash behind me, signaling for me to pull over. I did as requested and started slowing down to pull over. At that moment, I was terrified. I was driving with a suspended license for unpaid traffic tickets. I knew I would have gotten arrested. I started to brainstorm what to do, and luckily, I quickly thought of something. You see, at the time, a new digital phone had come out called VoiceSteam. Their whole big thing was the phones were digital and not cellular, meaning the signal couldn't be triangulated or traced. Before the cop even had time to step out of the car, I picked up my VoiceSteam and called 911, informing them that I just saw a guy with a shotgun walk into a 7-Eleven that was 2 blocks away from me. I confirmed the address and hung up. By this point, the cop was now walking up, but right as he approached, I saw him talking on his radio. He went into a panic and quickly told me, "Stop at the stop sign next time." He ran back into his car and sped off in the direction of the store. I quickly drove out and even made it to work on time. People who got away with...
This is why you should always play by... This has to be the most
Camilla, why did you...
I keep seeing people...
Oh, shoot.
What's your they didn't realize...
People who got away with a crime.
What's the most life-changing phone call you ever received?
Oh, shoot.
This girl was at a...
What's something simple that went horribly wrong?
Smartest way you tested which family members actually loved you. I pretended to lose my memory after a car accident to see who would help me remember. Right before revealing I'd secretly inherited $67 million and remembered everything. My family only called when they needed something. My sister Rachel for rent money. My brother Mike for business loans. My parents for their endless emergencies. I was their personal bank, nothing more. The wake-up call came at my nephew's graduation. While I was getting drinks, I overheard my sister on the phone. "Yeah, Alex is loaded, but he's so gullible. I just cry a little and he hands over whatever I need. It's like having a rich, stupid brother." They all laughed, including my parents. That night, I checked my bank statement. Over 5 years, I'd given them $340,000. Not one penny had been paid back. Not one genuine thank you. 2 weeks later, my great-uncle Henry's lawyer called. Henry had left me his entire fortune, $67 million from his shipping empire. He said you were the only family member who visited him without asking for money, the lawyer explained. I asked him to keep it confidential while I figured things out. That's when I had my idea. I staged a car accident. Nothing dangerous. Just a fender bender in a parking lot with my friend's help. But I went to the hospital claiming head trauma and memory loss. The doctors were confused by my symptoms, but I'd researched everything perfectly. Selective amnesia. I could remember basic functions, but not people, relationships, or my financial situation. I don't understand, I told my family from the hospital bed. Who are you people? Why do you keep saying you're my family? The reactions were instant and telling. Rachel immediately started reminding me about the $15,000 I promised her for a new car. "You were so excited to help me, Alex. You said it was a gift." Mike brought fake loan document. "You invested in my restaurant, remember? We were partners. I just need another $30,000 to keep it running." My parents kept pushing me to sign papers. "These are just medical forms, son, to help with your recovery." But my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, who I barely knew, brought homemade soup every day. "You helped my grandson with his college applications," she said. "I don't expect you to remember, but kindness deserves kindness." My coworker James, who I'd mentored for 2 years, took vacation days to sit with me. "You don't remember me, but you changed my life. Now let me help you." Even my mailman, Carlos, stopped by. "You always asked about my kids, man. Made my day better. Hope you get your memory back." For 3 months, I watched my family try to steal from someone they thought had brain damage while strangers showed genuine care. The final straw came when Rachel brought legal papers to make her my financial guardian. "Since you can't remember how to manage money, I'll take care of everything for you." Time for the reveal. I called a family meeting at my house. Everyone came, probably thinking they'd finally get control of my assets. Rachel walked in with her guardianship papers. Mike brought more fake fake
Man,
investment.
that sounds like such
Smartest
a
way you
crazy
tested
reaction.
What's the worst thing that ever happened at your kid's daycare? I used to love picking up my daughter Amanda from daycare because she'd always run to me with some new art project or story about her friends. But one Friday I noticed she could barely keep her eyes open when I arrived. The teacher cheerfully told me Amanda had another allergic reaction and they'd given her Benadryl just like my allergy plan said. Since that was the third reaction that week, I didn't think too much of it until my sister came over that weekend and watched Amanda race around. She told me she'd never seen her with so much energy. I almost laughed it off, but it hit me that Amanda was only tired on weekdays. I checked my calendar where I'd been tracking her reactions. 47 in 3 months, all weekdays, 0 on weekends. On Monday, I called the director about Friday's reaction. She said Amanda's face flushed after eating crackers, so they gave her Benadryl. I mentioned Amanda ate the same crackers at home and was fine. She paused, then said, daycare environments can trigger sensitivities. Something felt off about her response, so I asked to see Amanda's daily logs from
Okay, for real, bro? For real? Italian brain lot, bro?
past month. She told me they were being digitized and weren't available right now. When I tried an early pickup Tuesday, they said Amanda was napping and couldn't be disturbed. I was so suspicious I started tracking when she was alert versus drowsy. The pattern was obvious. Every reaction happened between 12:30 and 1 p.m., right before nap time. 2 weeks later, I ran into another parent who dropped her son off at the same daycare. Her name was Paula. I asked her if her son seemed tired after daycare. Her face went pale. She confirmed what I already knew. We compared notes right after. Her son had daily reactions too. Same exact timing. Then she pulled out her phone and showed me her son's allergy form. The handwriting was identical to Amanda's form. We spent the next hour piecing it together. 8 out of 12 toddlers in the classroom had allergies. All of them developed these allergies after starting at this daycare. All reactions happened right before nap. It was clear from there. They were giving our kids substances to make nap time easier. Paula and I sat there in silence for a moment, thinking about how we'd be signing permission slips for them to drug our babies. The guilt ate away at me, so I told her we had to tell the other parents. She agreed. So a couple days later, we held a meeting in Paula's living room and told the 8 families. One mom broke down crying when she realized her son's speech delays might be connected. Another dad stood up shouting that he was going to sue them into bankruptcy. Most parents just sat there in shock trying to process it. Once we pulled ourselves together, we filed a complaint with the licensing board. During the inspection, the director seemed nervous but cooperative and provided documentation showing legitimate allergy symptoms for each child. I started doubting myself because Amanda was sleeping better at home and seemed happier. Maybe we'd overreacted. But then I got a call from an unknown number. It was from a former employee who'd quit 6 months ago, and she said she needed to talk to me about the daycare. We met at a park the next morning, and what she told me made me sick. The daycare wasn't just using Benadryl for nap time. What's the worst thing?
Okay.
It honestly still messes with my head sometimes. A few years ago, my family took in a girl. We'll call her Maya. She wasn't blood related. She was the daughter of a close family friend who passed away suddenly, and my parents offered to become her guardians. At the time, I was around 15, and she was maybe 14. She moved in and was basically treated like one of us from day one. In the beginning, everything was chill. We got along fine, shared jokes, talked about school, TV shows, music, typical teenage stuff. She was a little quiet, kind of kept to herself, but she was smart and funny when she opened up. We basically grew up together, and for a while, it really did feel like I had a sister. But somewhere around when we both hit 17 to 18, things started getting weird. At first, it was little things. She'd compliment me in ways that didn't feel like how a cousin should talk. Stuff like, you smell really good, or you look kind of hot today, not gonna lie. I laughed it off because I honestly thought she was just being weird or trying to joke around. But it started happening more and more often, and it got bolder.
This is giving
out of my room a lot, usually lying on my bed, sometimes under the covers. I'd walk in and she'd be scrolling through her phone like she owned the place. One time I asked her if she needed something, and she just grinned and said, I like your energy in here. Okay. Then there was the towel thing. One night I was getting ready to go to sleep when she just walks in, wrapped in a towel, dripping wet from the shower, asking
what the? Yo.
I could help her find something to wear.
What?
I was stunned. I literally stood there like a deer in headlights while she's opening my closet and making comments like, you always wear the comfiest shirts. I wish I could sleep in one of yours. I told her to change in her room and lock my door that night. And it wasn't just that one time. There were moments when she'd brush her hand against mine and hold it just a little too long, or text me weird stuff like, do you think I'm cute? Followed by a laughing emoji, but no context. Or she'd sit way too close when we were watching TV, sometimes leaning her head on my shoulder and sighing dramatically like she was in some teen drama series. I even caught her going through my phone once. She tried to play it off, saying she was just checking the time, but I'd seen her swiping through my photos. It was uncomfortable, but I didn't know how to bring it up.
What the heck
what do you
is
even
that?
say in that situation? Hey, cousin, who's not technically my cousin? Could you please stop acting like we're in a forbidden romance subplot? Yeah, right. Not exactly dinner table conversation. I never told my parents. I was scared it would make things awkward, or worse, that they'd accuse me of being the problem. So I kept my distance as best I could, avoided being alone with her, and made excuses to keep my door closed. Eventually, she moved out. She went off to college in another state and kind of ghosted the family. No big goodbye, no staying in touch. Just gone. Part of me was relieved, but another part still feels uneasy about the whole thing. I've talked to a couple of friends about it, and their reactions are always the same. Wide-eyed WTF faces, followed by a dozen questions I can't really answer.
I busted a fat load in my sister. This all started when she got stuck in the washing machine. So like any normal 10-year-old would, I gave her some dummy back shots.
Oh my god! He's a 10-year-old! We're cooked. We're cooked. GG's. Oh my god.
Background, me and my stepsister and I have always had a friendly relationship. She's a few years older than me, and I can't deny that she's pretty attractive. She's got this long, wavy hair that frames her face perfectly. But most importantly, she got some humongous mommy milkers. Holy moly.
My
I could watch
oh
both of them for hours. But anyways.
Stop! Oh my god. Oh my god.
I've never thought of her in that way, of course. But a few days ago, I was home alone just chilling on the couch when I heard some noise coming from the laundry room. I went to investigate and found my stepsister stuck in the washing machine. Her body was fully wedged in there. She must have been trying to reach something that had fallen behind the machine. Her behind was sticking out facing me. I rushed towards her, panicking that she could be hurt. I grabbed her waist and started pulling, trying to get her unstuck. I honestly think she got stuck due to her mommy milkers being so huge. As I felt her soft skin and the curve of her body beneath my hands, I started to lose control. So I told her that I'd seen this before in a movie, and the only way to get her unstuck was by the power of backshots. Surprisingly, she agreed, and I started taking her to Pound Town. Holy guacamole. Did she have a gorilla grip? I almost
Oh my god, bro, I'm finna quit K-Talk. I'm gonna I mean, I'm gonna quit YouTube, bro.
Sadly, this didn't work. So like any 10-year-old, I turned on the washing machine and went back to watching TV. I busted a fat load in my system.
Woke up to getting my cat licked and abused by 5 guys. I was overworking one night and got off.
What? Oh my god, bro. Wow.
At 10 p.m. To relieve my stress, I paid a couple of homeless guys to use me in any way they wanted.
What am I watching?
This meant they could pound my cat raw, milk in my throat, and even face pound me. To my
what did I put myself through? Why did I do this? Why?
surprise, they did all of this. They pounded my cat, gave me a special facial, and even milked inside of cat and
that probably looked kinda good though. But like, oh my god.
my liquids and their milk combined. The luxury of this felt so good, lol. So after about an hour of me being used by these homeless men, it was 12 a.m. I offered them a chance to stay at my house for the night. We all slept in the bed together whilst completely unclothed. As we were trying to go to sleep, we were kissing, gurking each other off, and they were even playing with my cherries. It was so fun. Around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., I was done being used by them, since I had made them milk 20 times each. I was sleeping peacefully, dreaming about the time I sucked 50 hot dogs in one night at an adult.
What am I watching?
Theater. That was the most I've ever did, and I probably wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
I suddenly woke up to one of the homeless men hovering over my face with this hot dog deep in my throat. His friends were pounding my cat and using and licking my cherries. I quickly gave in because why not? It felt amazing. I would highly recommend this to anyone out there. It's weird to admit. Let me know in the comment thread.
I'm in a stable relationship with my sister. It started.
Yep, off the map. After I'm off the app. Bye.